Hello people, my name is Kim Jones. I'm one of the public service lecturers on the course at Stratford-upon-Avon College. I'm going to go through what our courses involve, the courses, what they lead to, the content of the courses, talk about uniform, trips and visits, and some other bits and pieces. And at the end of the session, there'll be a chance for you to answer me some questions if you have any questions after I finish talking. I'm going to skip the clip at the moment. It's the YouTube clip which just shows some of our students taking part in some physical training sessions and some outdoors team building activities, but I might go back to that later. So meet the team. So the assistant head of department is Nina Charles. She is also assistant head for health and social care and childcare. And then there's myself, Kim Jones, and Ollie Wilkins, who are the public service lecturers. I'm ex-Army and Ollie's an ex-Royal Marine, so we've got uniform public service experience between us. And Tanya is our learning coach. She's currently on maternity leave at the moment, and we have Pete Stone standing in for us. So that is the team. At the college, we offer the best possible preparation for a career in the public service sector. We don't look at any services in particular. It's a generic look at lots of the services. Whether you're interested in joining the police, the fire service, the prison service, or the armed forces, our public service programs will give you the necessary training. We are also looking at the probation service now as an option rather than the ambulance service. Students that want to join the ambulance service, we encourage now to join health and social care, because that's the route that will give them progression into that area. The practical element of these courses includes valuable role-playing sessions, and the students will also study parts of law, criminology theories, and we have lots of guest speakers coming in from the public services. So we have current serving personnel come in from all of the services to give us a talk on the application selection process for joining those services. The courses we're currently offering are the NCFE Level 2 in Public Services. We've swapped that from the BTEC, and the Level 3 National Foundation Diploma in Uniform Protective Services, which has now replaced the old Uniformed Public Services. So we were running public services. The title has now changed to protective services. In essence, what that means is we don't look at the ambulance services as one of the emergency services. We look at the prison service and the probation service now. The level 2 course content and the delivery method. As I said before, we've swapped from BTEC to NCFE, and this course is designed to equip students with an overall knowledge of public services and give them the skills they need to apply this knowledge to a chosen route in the sector of which they're interested in. Most of the students that we do have coming in either seem to want to join the police or the army at the moment, and we kind of cater the delivery of our units towards what the students actually are interested in doing. So what our cohort at the time is interested in, we'll tailor our lessons towards them. There's a mixture of theory lessons and practical assessments, and along with modules including physical fitness, equality and diversity, investigating employment and adventurous activities. Practical sessions have obviously taken a different turn this year. We've done a lot of the underpinning and a lot of the theory in the class, and we're hoping that things are going to be a little bit more relaxed after Christmas and we can get some of the more practical assessments completed. Physical fitness obviously plays a large part in our course. It's a compulsory element of the course. All students will do PT at least once a week, possibly twice on their timetable. It's also one of their core units, so there is a purpose to doing the physical fitness as well. It's one of their units. The qualification won't lead directly to a job in the public service sector, but it will be a qualification that is looked at favourably by potential employers, and it's good preparation. Level 2 then, they have 9 subjects that they have to complete over the year. and there aren't exams on this course. Most of it is workbook based and practical assessments and lesson observations and witness observations and statements from the tutors to help the students get the evidence they need to pass the course. The course they can leave with a pass, a merit or a distinction, depending on the standard of work that they've produced during the lessons and the standard of work that we've assessed after the lessons. You can see on the screen that they're the 9 units they do, in no particular order. Currently, we've started this year with health and safety in the uniform services, health and hygiene, following uniform service routine, which means drill. So the students will all, well, they were doing drill last year. Hopefully we can start that again after Christmas. And equality and diversity, which is quite important for all of the year groups. They all do some element of equality and diversity or citizenship. Level 2, again, the majority of the time will be spent in the classroom, especially with current circumstances. We haven't been allowed out to do some of the trips and visits that we usually do. However, they will also be active in attending outdoor recreation centres and participating in adventurous training. Sport and outdoor recreation are obviously important part of our curriculum, and it helps them to develop their health and fitness alongside their confidence when they're working with their classmates and their instructors. So teamwork, communication, leadership and fitness are all like part of the ethos of public service courses. To pass this course, students will complete assignments and workbooks throughout the year, and assignments will include project work, training sessions, logbooks, evidence from the tutors, essays and reports and independent research that they might have completed themselves. The level 2 course is basically a portfolio of work for each of those 9 units, and that is assessed each term. So each term the level 2 students should be completing 3 units, so it's broken down into manageable chunks, so it's not front-ended and it's not end-loaded, so it's quite an even pace throughout the year. And this works quite well, and we think we've got a good mix of the units. The students seem to enjoy the mix of units that we do have. Entry requirements for level 2, we require them to have 2 GCSEs at grade D, old grade D. What we now have is grade 3 or above. They will also need to have a suitable reference from school and take part in an interview with Ollie and myself. All students on our course are required to wear uniform. That's a bundle that can be ordered on site. The bundles cost £155. We give that kind of information out at the interview, how to order it, what the bundle actually consists of. Students are all expected to attend a residential trip during the year. Usually this is the first week in November, so it's the first week after term, so we usually would be going now down to North Devon. This has been postponed this year for obvious reasons. The course fees for level 2s is £325. The majority of that does go on the residential course, as well as 3 or 4 other trips or visits that we have throughout the year. For students that do need support with the course fee and the uniform, there are bursaries available and it's means tested, and I can talk about that at the end of the session. The next course up is the level 3 National Foundation Diploma. This has replaced the old QCF Foundation Diploma in Public Services. We're now called Protective Services. Again, it's designed to and to go on to higher education. Modules cover a broad range of topics, subjects and activities, as does the level 2. Our course caters for those who leave school looking to get into the emergency services or the armed forces. Like I said before, anyone wanting to join the ambulance service should probably look at the health and social care courses now, because emergency services have taken out the ambulance service on our course, and we are now looking at the prison service and the probation service. So delving into a varied mixture of theoretical tasks and practical activities, most of our course this year has been in the classroom. We've been unable to get out of the classroom. However, we are doing practical activities and trying to get some evidence that way. the same as the level 2 really. We've got our hands tied at the moment, but we're doing the best we can to get the evidence that the students need and hopefully give them a good time on the course. The level 3 foundation diploma are currently studying 5 subjects this year. They're doing citizenship and diversity, behaviour and discipline in the uniform protective services, which has an element of cyber involved, which the students seem to enjoy. Physical preparation, which is their PT lesson. Again, the same with the level 2s. They have 2 PT sessions a week, which are quite important. Teamwork, leadership and communication, and skills for outdoor activities. This year, there is an exam. So for the behaviour and discipline unit, there is an external assessment. And the exam is usually the end of January, beginning of February. We're awaiting the date for that. All of the other units are assignment based, so the students work towards assignments. They hand the assignments in, Ollie and myself mark them, they get some feedback, and they do get a second chance at resubmitting them to get the grade they need. But the only unit in that group are behaviour and discipline is the only one that has an external assessment, so that is an exam. Again, the majority of time is going to be in the classroom. We do lots of theory work for the exam unit especially. There's quite a lot to get through. But they are also going on the residential courses and taking part in the sports, the land-based and the water-based activities. Usually in the first year, the level 3s will focus on land-based activities, and then in their second year, they will focus on the water-based activities as well as other team building activities that we use throughout the year. To pass this course, they again will have to submit assignments for each of their units. There's usually 3 or 4 assignments for each unit apart from the exam unit, and they will be spaced out throughout the year, so there's no bunching and no overlapping. Some of the assignments again will include project work. It could be students doing some presentations, some independent research, mini reports, or evidence that Ollie and I write up for them or record for them as additional evidence. Requirements for getting onto the level 3 course are 4 GCSEs at grade 4 or above, which used to be the old C, including English language. Maths is desirable, or progression from a level 2 course with GCSE English is also acceptable. Where it says maths is desirable, if they don't achieve maths at school and they apply for a level 3 foundation diploma, they can still get on if they've got English, but they will be doing maths as part of their timetable lessons. So they would continue with maths while they were at college. Again, students are going to be wearing uniform. That will be ordered in a bundle during the summer months, and we will give them that information when they're interviewed. Again, same applies with the level 2s. All of our students take part in the residential, and it's the same week. We all go down the first week in November to Skerne Lodge in North Devon, and they all take part in a different programme. So each of the year groups have a different programme whilst we're down there. The course fees for the level 3 students, £400, so it's a little bit more than the level 2 because they have a few extra trips throughout the year. So the course fees cover all of the expense throughout the year, and we don't ask for any more contributions for any other trip. So it's all in. Again, for students that need financial support, I can give advice and emails about that at the end of the session. If they haven't achieved grade 4 in maths or a level 2 in functional skills, they will be working towards that qualification whilst they're at college. So as well as having the core subjects on their timetable, they will also have 2 1.25 hour slots for their maths sessions. The level 3 units that we're currently studying are global affairs, the media and the uniform protective services, government and the protective services, planning for and responding to emergency incidents, custodial care, expedition skills, developing personal fitness programs. Again, that's their PT lesson, and introduction to criminology. So that's the units that they do in their second year. Again, we can be quite flexible with those. It depends on how many students we've got what kind of services they're interested in joining. Lots of the units that we've done in the first year are mandatory, so it gives us a little bit more flexibility then in the second year to choose subjects that the students might be more interested in. But most of the units are mandatory, and we can just choose some of the optional ones. The entry requirements for the extended diploma, which is the second year of the level 3 course, is the same. So it's 4 GCSEs at grade 4, including English language and maths. So students that do the first year in the level 3 course will progress on to year 2, but we're expecting them to have passed English and maths by this point. Otherwise, it makes timetabling difficult, and it means that they've got a lot of pressure on them in the second year, as well as doing maths and English. So it is a requirement that they pass English and maths in the first year of their level 3 course before they progress into their second year. Again, if they don't pass maths, they will be expected to do that on their timetables. And again, that's another 2-hour lessons onto quite a full timetable. Again, the same uniform. Uniform is the bundle. Our students at the moment are wearing black dry fit tracky tops, tracky bottoms, polo tops, black trainers. Their PT kit, navy shorts, navy t-shirt. The girls do wear leggings for PT. The bundles can be mixed up, and additional items can also be purchased. So jackets, waterproof coats, various styles of tracksuit trousers, because they're not all want to wear the same tracksuit trousers. So it can be mixed up. It's not a rigid bundle. And the course fees for the second year is the same as it is for the first year. It's £400. Again, year 2 students go on a residential, the same residential, but their programme is slightly different. They don't repeat anything they've done in their first year, and the second year residential is more water-based. Progression, this is quite a difficult one for our course. So usually after completing the public services or protective services level 3 course, they'll progress on to higher level qualifications at uni, depending on the final grade and the equivalent UCAS points. So the points you get on BTEC can be transferred to UCAS points with a tariff, and that's something that we will talk to the students about when they come to us during their first induction week, so they've got an idea of what they should be aiming for if they want to go to university. So any students wanting to progress from the level 3 course to university should really be aiming at, if they're in a year 2, distinction star, which will give them maximum UCAS points when they're carried over. I asked some of our students this week what they're intending on doing, because every year our students seem to want to do something different. And the current theme seems to be policing, law, politics. Criminology is very popular at the moment, psychology and forensic psychology, leadership and management. So last year we had students going off doing all of those, but criminology and psychology seem to be the most popular degrees to be doing at university currently. Lots of our students join our course because they want to be in the police service, the fire service, prison service, probation service, all the armed forces. And we help them with their application forms. We help them with their references. We make sure that their applications are right. We give them all the advice that we can on getting that right. We have people in the careers hub at college that will also help with applications, personal statements and references as well. So it's not just Ollie and myself that are there to help them. We have a team of people that can also help with that, and also the applications for university as well, not just for the services. We've put that picture up there because the campus has changed over the last year. We've had some renovations done. The old entrance, the old reception used to be by the Willows in F block. The new reception is now in A block, right at the front of college, opposite the Morrison's roundabout, and it's all looking pretty good. So A and B block have been renovated. C block is getting done next year, and I think we are going to lose L and G block. So that will be an open grass space with, hopefully, we're hoping, somewhere that kids can play basketball or football. When we've talked to old students or past students, they always talk about the trips and activities that we've put on throughout the year. This year, unfortunately, things have been very different. So last year, everything stopped on the 20th of March, and some of our students missed out on the trips at the end of last year. And we've missed out on trips at the beginning of this year, unfortunately. Usually we start in the first week that they begin with us, we have a local walk, and then we do an overnight camp. And that's a great opportunity for students to bond and get to know each other before they actually go into the classroom and start working together. Last year, unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it this year. Usually before half term, October time, we have a trip to either Brecon or Snowdonia, climbing mountains, Pen-y-Fan, Trevan. That's a day trip, so that's an early start. We usually leave at 6:30 in the morning and we don't get back till about 7 at night. The students love it, although we've been very lucky with the weather the last couple of years. Royal Marines at Wootton Warren, we usually have that just after induction, where we go down and the Royal Marines put on some team building activities for us. So it's usually out on the water, a couple of on-site team building leadership activities. There's a climbing wall as well. So that's a good fun day out. We then usually have the residential trip to North Devon this time of year. We leave Monday morning and we get back late Friday night. So it's a full week of activities where they're timetabled from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. That also helps us get lots of evidence that we need for some of their current units of study. So they all leave the residential with a logbook that we can use then as evidence for their assignments. So there's a lot of purpose to that residential trip. The fire station is somewhere that we always visit. The fire station and the ambulance station are next door to Morrison, so we've got a good relationship with the personnel down there, and we usually get a visit there with each group every year. They get to talk to the firefighters, they get to look at the appliances, the equipment, they understand what happens when you get a call out, the process for that. They get to walk into the smoke-filled building. They have the ladders out and the hoses out, so that's a good fun day. Warwickshire Magistrates Court is somewhere new. We went there last year. It's something that links to criminology and psychology. Students also do crime and its effects and custodial care, so that links quite nicely to those units. The Peak District we usually visit March, April time, and each year group will have an overnight camp. The year ones and the level twos go to the Peak District, and the year twos will return back to Wales for their overnight camp at Easter. We have guest speakers coming in from all of the services to talk to students about what that service does, the role and purpose of the service, the application and selection, the downsides and the upsides to working in the services. So it's quite good to listen to them and their perspective. So they're currently serving personnel that will come in and speak to the students about what it's actually like to be a member of that service. And we also get the schools presentation teams coming in from the Army, Navy, RAF and the Royal Marines. The Royal Marines have their visibility team and they do a lot of PT sessions with the students for us. So again, we've got good relationships with those teams of people. And you know, that's quite a good link to have. It keeps us up to date with what is going on with the services as well. And I think sometimes the students get fed up with Ollie and myself talking about things all the time, and it's great for them to see, you know, real people from, you know, the real services coming in to do real activities with them. Just a bit about COVID and what the college is doing to keep students safe. We expect students to wear ID badges at all the time. So when they come in induction, they have a photograph taken and they're given a lanyard with their ID number on it. We're all expected to wear lanyards all the time and challenge students that aren't wearing them. We only expect students to attend college whilst their timetables for lessons or advised to come in by tutors. Use designated entrances and exits. Staircases and facilities are advised. So sometimes we have, you know, one-way process going around the college. Obviously lifts aren't used. No running around corridors or up and down the stairs. So it's the same as students would behaving at school, really. So we have bubbles at college at the moment. So each of the groups is in their own bubble and they have their own base room. And Ollie and myself move to the base room. So the students aren't supposed to move from classroom to classroom. They have a base room that they stay in, and Ollie and myself go into the rooms to teach them. And we have to stick within our own little box and wear face shields and not get within 2 meters of the students. The students are also sitting a meter apart at desks. So the college are doing everything they can to make sure that we're abiding by the government guidelines on this. If students feel unwell, they're to inform a member of staff immediately, and then we can deal with that as and when that happens. I think students need to be reminded that they are a representative of the college, and we ask them to abide by any of the rules or guidelines that we have whilst using public transport or in public spaces. Where we are situated in Stratford, we are right opposite Morrison's, and lots of students go there for their lunch at the moment because we don't have the canteen open in college. So we do remind students that they are college representatives and to behave appropriately when they're going over to Morrison's or into town to get their lunch. In addition to the COVID-19 guidelines, we expect students to follow the code of conduct, and that's something that we talk to them about during induction. So a college environment that is monitored and adapted to meet government legislation and guidelines, like I've just explained about the students being in their bubbles and how staff are interacting with the students safely. We have a safeguarding team. Students are taught about prevent during induction and welfare support. So it's something that all of the students will be well aware of when they begin college with us. We have what is called a learning coach. So it's someone that the students can go to talk to if they have any problems while they're at college or they feel that they need extra support if they don't want to talk to Ollie and myself. And each tutor group will have a personal tutor assigned to them. So I currently have the year 2s and the level 2s this year, and Ollie has the year 1 students, and then the year 1 tutor then follows the year 2 students up. So Ollie will then be next year's year 2 tutor, and then I will swap round, I will tutor. We're enabling students to work from home at the moment. Obviously, in this current situation, we have had an online learning week. We still have a few students that are choosing to work remotely. They need to keep us informed about their situation because things are ever changing. I've got a couple of students that haven't got access to IT at home, and I've enabled them to borrow laptops from college. So they're happily working from home on college laptops during remote sessions. So that's something that we can look at for students that don't have access to IT. We have to be quite inclusive. That's really important. The health, safety and well-being of our students is important to us, and we are doing our best to follow the legislation guidelines that have been put in place to ensure that college does remain a safe place for them to come and to study. If you have any questions, you might have got a pen and paper. If you've got a pen and paper, would you like to write down Ollie's email and my email? So if you've got any questions that you'd like me to answer, or you can't think of any questions at the moment, please feel free to email myself and Ollie. You can also direct like generic questions to hello@stratford.ac.uk. That email might be best for to talk about financial support and bursary and things like that. Thank you. Bye-bye.